Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ridwan Nur. I am one of the student in English Education Department, Class D, Graduate Program, State University of Makassar. And now I'm going to explain kinds of English text. The first kind of English text is narrative text. The narrative text included the story or legend or fable. And the purpose of narrative text is to amuse or entertain the readers and to tell a story. Narrative text has generic structure. The first is orientation, the second is complication, the third is resolution, and the last is reorientation. Let me explain one by one. The first is orientation. Orientation is the introduction of the story and the characters and also the place and the time. The second is complication. The complication means the problems which appears in the story. And the resolution is the problem solving of all the problems. And the reorientation is the suggestion or the moral value that we can get from the story. The dominant language features in narrative text, the first is using past tense, the second using action verb, and the last chronologically arranged means the sequence of the time in narrative text. The second kind of English text is recount text. Recount text means retell the story. And the purpose of recount text is to retell something that happened in the past and tell a series of past events. The generic structure of recount text is the first orientation, as I explained just now in narrative text. And the second is events, and the third is reorientation. The dominant language features, the first is it using past tense, the second is it using action verb, and the last it using adjectives. The third kind of English text is descriptive text. The descriptive text means describing something or someone. It might be a place or things. The purpose of descriptive text is to describe a particular person, place, or thing in detail. And the dominant generic structure is the first is identification, the second is description. And the language features is using simple present tense, using action verb, using adverb, and using special technical terms. And this is the picture of me, Ridwan Nur. The next kind of English text is review text. The purpose of review text is to critique or evaluate an artwork or event for a public audience. The dominant generic structure is orientation, evaluation, interpretative recount, evaluation, and evaluative summation. The dominant language features is the first focus on specific participants, using adjectives, using long and complex clauses, and using metaphor. And the last kind of English text is anecdote text. The purpose of anecdote text is to share with others an account of an unusual or amusing incident. The generic structure is abstract, orientation, crisis, reaction, and coda. And the dominant language features is using exclamations, rhetorical question or intensifiers, using material process, and using temporal conjunction. That's all my explanation about kinds of English text, and thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.